An absolute pleasure sitting next to Roy Big Country Nelson as he gets set to take on Daniel Cormier. We're still, 2 days away from this thing. A lot of mind games have been played here by Daniel Cormier's camp, but you've been around this game for a long time. How do you deal with that kind of stuff?
Don't play into them or whatever. Just get better at mind games. I don't know. Like, just another day in the office.
And you mentioned that this camp potentially was one of the worst camps ever. Why is that?
The worst camp, I lost, my boxing coach, Jeff Mayweather was in the hospital for, a good long time. I lost Ryan Martinez. He was, he broke his hand in the Bellator tournament. I lost, like Mo Lawal because it couldn't work out with Mo just because he's, old DC, so didn't want to put him in a weird, predicament. And, so it's been the worst training camp.
How have you dealt with it, though, and how do you overcome that when you step into the cage on Saturday night?
You just go out there and just try to put my hands on his face more than he puts his hands on me. That's easy. Simple.
You mentioned you don't want to get hugged by Daniel Cormier, so how do you avoid that? Is that just as simple as footwork? Is it just awareness of the cage, knowing that black line is, are those sponsorship logos?
I was hoping to maybe use, I'm married, and maybe that might keep him away.
That could be a good strategy.
Good. It usually works in the bar.
You've got a great analogy in terms of how the UFC sometimes put together title fights, but you've also said you were always one win away or an injury away from getting a title shot. Where does a victory over Daniel Cormier on Saturday night put you in this division?
I think, victory in the UFC, it just automatically always puts you closer to the title. I mean, it doesn't put you farther away. It just always puts you closer.
When you look at a guy like DC, when you've done your homework on preparing for a guy like this, what did you see and learn throughout the camp that maybe you didn't know before the fight got signed?
Nothing really. Just that he's scared of the beard. Fear of the beard. I think that's probably the one thing I did learn.
And in terms of the perfect fight on Saturday night, is it as typical as a Roy Nelson fight can be? Overhand right, or as I always say, the flying armbar?
Whatever just brings the crowd to their feet. I mean, that's all I care about is putting on a good show and going out and performing.
Is there ever going to be a point in time when you're doing a post-fight interview when you're actually saying, give me that title shot, Dana, come on, stop with this. Let's just do this, man. The fans want it. Let's do this?
It's always possible. I mean, but sometimes they don't give me enough mic time, so it's always hard.
Roy Nelson, short and sweet. Thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
He is competing in the co-main event versus Daniel Cormier Saturday night, UFC 166, Toyota Center in Houston.